I think I struggled a little bit for identity because I based my whole identity around sport. Yeah. Suddenly you can't do it. Mm-hmm. So when you've got a sport, you're going for something, you're always on track. When you don't, I don't know where to put the focus and the intensity and the things that I guess make me me. Fintech stuff had started to work as a side project, and then I went, I'm going all in, because if I don't, then I think I might get fired at some point. A couple of years later, that was the fastest growing book, continued to be even after I handed it over and left the business. That was a bet that I made that paid off. I saw a trend, didn't understand it, but leaned into it. Once I started to understand it, I started documenting what that was. I didn't know that at the time that was called Ideal Customer Profile. I didn't know that that's what it was called, but I just did it organically, naturally.
Some people go to contracting and consulting for the money. Yeah. For me, it was the ability of variety and change and learning and growth mindset. I'm a strong believer that if you look for things where you can learn and grow, all that will come.
It follows.
It will follow you. What I realized is high-performing teams, people you work with, all of that is really important. Yeah. And when I left Visa, the people I really enjoyed working with, the leaders that I looked up to at the time, etc., were all moving on to pastures new, right? Gotcha. So I thought it's now or never.
So I think when I first took the role, the MLRO role, so the first time I was in the chair, that was daunting. Not only am I kind of in the chair if it all goes wrong, but I'm also responsible for all these people that are working here should anything all go wrong. And that was pretty daunting. The risk management around options is a challenge. Managing the book as well. Those mornings where you wake up and cable has gone, you're like, is it that morning?
I remember the first day that I had a meeting on my calendar, like a proper meeting. And we had to go, and it was like a proper boardroom, like a big table like this. I felt so important. It's the practice thing. It's how often you do it is what it really comes down to. I think it's really that it's an art in itself to be an amazing public speaker. So the more you do it, obviously the better you get.
Just always kind of look to leave on good terms, because you never know when you're going to bump into those people. Those people are going to come into your life again. News International was an interesting kind of company, quite a tough and demanding company. It's one of those kind of jobs that if you were successful, then you ate. If you weren't, you got fired. And I think kind of like a grad kind of coming into things, then it was fairly kind of like tough sort of awakening to life.
You held the Olympic torch for the Olympics for Visa, and I was like, this guy is in his groove.
I was waiting for the person before me to come to me. And then in my head, I'm thinking, what am I going to think about? What is it that I want to reflect on? Yeah. And at that moment, I decided nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Just be there.
This moment is just for me. The next 90, 120 seconds is just for me to absorb this energy. Yeah. Because it is everything that I've worked coming together. Yeah.
In simple terms, when I talk to my mom, many times she's like, what do you actually do again? Yeah. So I usually kind of tell her, when you open a bank account, you kind of go through a process where you put some information and you go through selfies and all that stuff. That could be us. I left home to do my uni and everything. Yeah. By then I was making my own decisions in a way. And I think not all decisions were great, but I think it led me to who I am today. Building that brand and really getting to where I want to be.
Isn't it funny that being super inquisitive in that second phase of your career is just essential?
100%. Honestly, Liam, I mean, I had no clue whether I was going to end up here.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The world is made by people that do things. And equally, that doesn't mean you have to always have action. I think sometimes inaction can be as loud as action. I had no idea what Silicon Valley was. Not a clue. It made me feel like there was a world that was bigger than what I already knew. It opened my mind up totally to different ways of working, different people, different ways of living.
There's always somebody out there trying to con. It's a bit of a game of chess because the technology, the people are always trying new things and you're trying to keep up with them. You're not going to get everything right. Whatever you try, you're going to make a decision, but it's not always going to be the right decision. Documenting the reason you made that decision. Show your workings, just like in maths, when you do that exam, remember your teacher says 80% of the mark is show your workings, and it's exactly the same, because once there's a documented rationale and it makes sense, something goes wrong, you've actually explained why you've done it.